It's difficult to speak from confidence if you don't have either experience, knowledge, or results in something that you're talking about.
What I learned, confidence basically means, con means with, fidence means with faith. So confidence means with faith, because you got to have some faith. What's going on? This is Michael Barayev with Spitting Fire. And today, as you guys know, every single Monday, we come at you and we spit fire. So, today we got Eric Shizzle, Dizzle, Krizzle up in the house.
My nizzle.
Here. So, today's topic is about how to sell yourself. Okay? How do you sell yourself? I'm not gonna hit you, Eric, don't worry. Right? But how do you sell yourself? Because a lot of times people come into interviews, they come into a job, or they may want to get into a negotiation meeting room. They're in a meeting, they're probably in somewhere where they're trying to impress somebody or to convince somebody or persuade somebody. So we're gonna talk today about how to sell yourself. But what are some things that people kind of mess up on when it comes to selling themselves?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the obvious, Michael, which is I think people try to sell versions of themselves or they try to be somebody they're not. Oof. I think the most powerful thing you can do when you're trying to sell yourself, whether it be to a company or to a client or to whoever, is to just be who you are.
Be you, basically.
Right? Be you, right? Be natural. Don't try to fake anything. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. Don't try to act a certain way if that's not how you normally act. It's one thing to kind of, hone in a little bit or, be a little bit more reserved if you're on an interview. Obviously, you're not going to just say wild and crazy stuff in an interview if you're wild and crazy, but you have to be, you have to be yourself. And as long as you're genuine and you're transparent, and I think authentic is probably the best word, you're being an authentic version of you. That's probably the number one thing you could do as a starting place.
So let me ask you a question. So being authentic is basically, I had these two interviews, I'll never forget. It was AT&T Digital Life, okay, beep. And it was Spectrum and the Rectum, okay. It was a couple of years back. It was two companies that were major. And my first interview with AT&T, I walked in there with gym clothes. And I put my feet up like this. And I said, why should I work here? That was my interview, okay. The guy hired me because I was a cocky motherfucker. And then, a year or two later, I went to work with Spectrum. And actually today, we just saw him today. All right, Mr. Ben, my man. He literally reminded me today how I got into the interview because I literally was in the gym across the street. And I came in, I said, yo, could I come in? I'm in my gym clothing with my t-shirt and my sweatpants. He's like, yeah, come through. So he gave me a shot. So is that the right way? Because I don't think that was the right way.
This is what I would say. I think you might have been able to, sell you on who you were in a very brief time. But I think if you really want to sell somebody on you, it has to be consistent over time. And what happens is, you're not gonna be a false version of yourself, for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So that was me being me, basically.
So it's one thing to, like I said, to hone it in a little bit for certain types of meetings or certain type of introductions. But in a general sense, you just gotta be yourself. Like when I do topics in front of my guys, I don't try to be you. I don't try to be Jason. I don't try to be anyone else. I'm just being myself, and people are gonna like it, people are gonna hate it, but
So people make that mistake a lot. They're trying to be somebody they're not. They act different. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, listen, gotta be honest with you, I'm me. Like everybody that knows me, I'm me behind the camera. I'm here in front of the camera. I'm a crazy nut. Whether it is what it is. In the gym, at home, like my family, even my relationship. Like I am who I am, and that's what I love about it because you could be transparent. I live in a glass door. And how to sell yourself is to be you, right? And that's very important. So we're gonna talk about what are some of those steps to actually, not steps so to say, but kind of like habits or things you kind of work on. So we can actually pretty much understand that, being yourself, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being you.
I would say this. If you're specifically in a situation where, selling yourself is very important in that moment, then you don't just want to sell who you are, but you want to sell the best version of you possible.
Awesome.
So for instance, one of the things on our list, and we can get this into a second, one of the tips is dress to impress. Now you might not normally dress to impress, but if you have to sell yourself, the best version of you is sharp, tidy.
I mean, right now I don't have my blazer on me, but I usually wear my blazer. My blazer's on the room. It's kind of hot right now. So I usually wear my blazer, nice little, t-shirt, nice pants, nice shoes, because I want to dress the part. Right? So in a business setting, if you're doing any kind of business, you gotta dress to impress. You gotta dress up in that game, the way the game, is being dressed upon. So for example, if you are a personal trainer, you better not show up in a suit. It's kind of weird. Show up with an Under Armour shirt, a nice tank top, a professional look, nice sweatpants, good Nike shoes, good Reeboks, whatever the case, you want to look the part, okay? Because if you are a yoga teacher and you show up in a suit, it gives off the wrong impression. So it all depends on what industry you're in and what you're trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So that's very, very important. So dress to impress. What else would you recommend for people to work on or to kind of, build in themselves to be able to sell themselves better? Because selling yourself is key. I mean, you can't get anywhere unless you sell yourself. People need to like you. People need to respect you. People need to trust you to do any kind of business transaction or for any transaction for that matter, right? So what are some other tips that you can give some people to be able to sell themselves?
I would say, I think confidence is a huge part of it. And it's not just a matter of being confident, but it's a matter of speaking confidently.
Now, when you say speaking confident, what does that mean? Because a lot of times people think that speaking confidence means being loud or being crazy.
I think, there's a certain tone. It's a tone of like basically
authoritative tone?
Authoritative, but it's also when you're sure about something, you can speak confident. When somebody's lying, you can tell because they sound a little unsure because they know they're lying.
Certainty.
When you speak with certainty, it's confident. It comes off confident, right? Your body language, like the way I'm talking right now with body language, I'm confident in what I'm saying because I truly believe it. And when you truly believe something, which means you have to be knowledgeable about it, you have to feel it from the inside out, then it allows you to speak from confidence. So you speak from the heart,
absolutely.
You speak from experience. It's difficult to speak from confidence if you don't have either experience, knowledge, or results in something that
Now, what I learned, confidence basically means, con means with, fidence means with faith. So confidence means with faith, because you got to have some faith. You know what I mean? So with faith, you can actually have that confidence. You need God in your life to be able to have confidence. And I'm saying, listen, if you want to be confident in this beautiful plant right here and how it grows, listen, that's another topic. But you still got to have faith because someone created this beautiful plant. It didn't come by accident, right?
No. There's a fine line between being confident and then arrogant and cocky. If you're in an interview, I hate when people come in all arrogant and cocky. And
we had that today.
Yeah. And
so let me ask you a question, because I'm gonna give my interpretation. You give me your interpretation. What is the difference between speaking with confidence and speaking with arrogance?
Well, a confident person knows that no matter how good they are, there's always more to learn. An arrogant person thinks they know it all. So
I love that. You know what's crazy? I don't even want to say my version of that explanation because yours is like smack right on. But let me just give you mine if that's okay. For me, that's how I looked at it. Confidence is you knowing you're awesome at something or you're amazing at something, but you don't put anyone down or put anyone down, by putting yourself up. You're literally saying, hey, I'm really good at this. I can help, I can, transfer that positivity to you as well so you can be great with me. And a guy that's arrogant or a person that speaks with arrogance, they think they're cocky, they think they're number one and everyone else is a loser. And that's the difference.
Yeah, confident people speak with results, they don't just speak with words. So I think, arrogant people and cocky people, especially, again, we're going to use, an interview as an example because you really do have to sell yourself in an interview. They're always talking about what they could do, what they've done, but if you have the results, then let your results speak for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to speak.
I mean, that goes to everything. I mean, when you're sitting down with a client, a big client that we're working with right now, we're selling them on ourselves, how we can help them and, manage their sales and manage this and that for them. So it's very important for you to be able to sell with confidence and speak with confidence and have that aura bleed right out you. So that's
people will follow confidence and people will buy into that. When you're confident, people just naturally buy into what you're selling. So you have here, do your research and know.
So what I basically wrote about that. So a lot of times confidence comes from knowing, right? Okay. But you got to do your research. Like for example, you want to sell yourself. You want to know everything about what you're about to talk about or what you're going to, sell them on. So for example, if I'm in an interview or if I'm in a business meeting or if I'm in a real estate approach, like anything, my whole goal is to know everything about it as much as I could possibly know. Because the more you know, the more you can actually have more confidence in yourself. The more confidence you have in yourself, people will understand that and they'll feel that and they say, you know what? I want to do business with you. So a lot of times people have very low confidence, especially in sales. You gotta sell yourself, guys. You gotta sell yourself 24/7. If you married, you gotta resell your wife or resell your husband on a daily basis to let them know, hey, you remember me? I'm amazing. Hey, I know you're mad at me today because we argued in the morning, but I love you and I think you're amazing and I want you to think I'm amazing. So it's constantly creating that aura of, listen, I'm confident and you want to do your research on that stuff, right? So you want to learn as much as you can. So if you love your wife, go get her something that she likes. Figure out what's important to her so you should know her so freaking well that you can sell yourself onto her so she can love you again.
But I also, and I agree with that a lot, I think there's something to be said about, kind of getting back to what we originally said about being yourself. You don't want to sell yourself on falsehoods. Like, you could probably get somebody to go out on a few dates with you just by being charismatic and being, and selling them on you. But if that's not the real you, then you're selling them on a false version of you. And eventually they're going to find those things out.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And,
absolutely. Don't be a fake. Don't be a fraud.
My last girlfriend, my room was, perfectly clean the first 3 times she came over. By the 4th time it was
it was a tornado.
Is this how your room really is? I'm like, sorry.
It's crazy. That's true. When I used to go, before I met my beautiful girl I have right now, but like when I was dating and stuff and I was just, talking to different people, I literally at like the first fucking meeting, the first date, I would tell them, listen, this is who I am, pop, 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 pop. Sometimes they would never even pick up their phone after the first day. I'm like, oh, okay, great. I just got rid of someone that didn't want to agree with what my terms were in this relationship because this is who I want to be. This is what we're going to do. I mean, it was common stuff. Like, for example, I said, hey, I'm going to be rich and I'm focused on business from this time to this time. And for them, time with their boyfriend at that time was so important that they're like, you know what, fuck this guy. And it was perfect. Because what if I told her, yeah, I can find time for you, skip meetings, skip this, skip that. 2 months later, I'm already like liking the person, I'm in love with that person, now I can't leave them, and I'm hurting their feelings because I can't spend time with them. Because you go back to your regular self. So it's very important to be just 100% transparent in the beginning, up front, okay? The next thing that I would recommend for some people to actually learn how to, to sell yourself is to learn to identify and solve problems for people. You want to sell yourself, you want to be the guy. I want to be a servant. Like to me, my title should not be CEO. My title should be the servant because that's how I see myself. I want to serve the team. I want to serve the company. I want to serve the organization. My job is to lead the organization through trials and tribulations to sell them on the idea that I can help them and I want to solve problems for the company and for my clients. I want to solve the biggest, juiciest problems because I am the servant. I need to do the work. Now I'm gonna have other people to help me with that. I'm gonna have a guy like Eric. I'm gonna have a guy like Tony. I'm gonna have a guy like Shmoni. I'm gonna have all these different people helping me out, right? Helping me out with our vision. Because I am not the one to be served. I am there to serve. And if you wanna sell yourself, learn to serve people. Learn to actually think about others and solve their problems. But before you solve their problems, you gotta identify before you walk into their room what their problems are. A good person, when I go to a meeting, my whole objective before I even go there is to study the company, study what their goals are, what are they looking for, and can I solve it? Can I do business with them by solving their issues? If I go into that room knowing I could solve their problems, I guarantee you my sales skills and my confidence is gonna blow through the water and they're gonna feel that and say, you know what, we want this guy to do business with us.
I think, if I could just jump in,
a
really good point that you might not have even intended to make, but I wanna elaborate on it. You also have to be aware of your surroundings, okay? Because you're not just selling yourself directly to the person. They're watching everything you do, how you interact with other people, how you deal with other people, how you move, your body language, your facial expressions.
Absolutely.
Even your eye contact when you're talking to people. If you're shifty and you're having a conversation with, Joey Schmoey over there, and I'm watching you, you're indirectly selling me.
It was at this moment he knew he fucked up.
Against you. Does that make sense? I apologize about that. But you have to understand that people are going to be watching you at all times. And to sell yourself, it's not just good enough to sell yourself directly to the person you're trying to sell to, but you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to make sure that you're on your A game in all situations.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And you know what? Another thing, when you walk into that room or that conversation or that house or whatever the case you're doing, you need to make sure that when you walk in there, you have a present and a past. Not only a past, because a lot of people have a past track record. We used to do this amount of stuff back then. We did this, we did this. Everyone talking about what they did. You want to talk about what you did and what you're doing. Hey, this is what we've been doing. This is what we've done. This is what we're doing actually right now. This is where we're going. We want to help you with what your goals are. And that's how you sell somebody on that idea. Like, think about it this way. Eric, if I ask you right now, what's your biggest problem right now in business? Like the one biggest problem that you may have, like not with me, but just with your, let's say your small team of the Jersey team. Give me that one problem you want to solve.
I would say consistency.
Consistency, right? So if I was here to be a consultant to you, right? My goal is to sell me on you, sell myself so you can do business with me. I'm gonna say, listen, I already know that you need consistency. Based on my track record, I've created this, and that with my other organizations where they've created consistent results. And on top of that, they're creating consistent results right now. And what we're doing in the future is gonna demolish all the other companies out there. Do you want in on that? Sign me up. Why? Because not only did I say I have a good track record, I talked about what I did right now, what I'm doing right now. I'm creating those results, those positive results. It's genuine. My energy is fucking right. And then on top of that, I'm helping solve its problems. He's like, wait a minute, you can solve that problem because that's all he cares about, because human people are selfish. They only want to hear about themselves. Guess what? About his problem, I'm going to solve it. Nothing wrong with that. And boom, now you say, you know what? How much? And if I say $1,000 a week, you'll say, fuck it. To have consistency in that office, it makes me, let's say, $2,000. I do $1,000. Boom, it's a win-win situation. So you guys gotta learn how to make win-win deals by selling yourself properly so people know what you're trying to do, okay? This goes with relationships, this goes with school, this goes with your kids, this goes with everybody. Learn to sell yourself. Learn to be the one that when you walk into the room, people want to do business with you. People want to shake your hand and say, you know what? I want to create this product with you. I want to do this with you. I want to create this partnership with you. And that's how you do business, guys. Okay? So, as you guys know, every single Monday we spit fire, we spit the truth and nothing but the truth. And as you guys know, we have a video of every single spitting fire almost, okay, unless I'm traveling somewhere. A couple weeks ago, I was actually in Miami. I had to do it in my car. It was a little bit, it was real, it was real. Somebody knocked on my window, something happened, it is what it is. But that's the thing about spitting fire. It is not meant to be perfect. We had a phone call in the middle of this podcast. It is what it is. We're two human beings creating valuable content to change your life and to change other people's lives. So do me a favor, share this podcast. Do me a favor, follow us on YouTube, follow us on iTunes, and give us a comment. I actually want to know some of your reviews. I want to know what you guys feel about this. And if you was a hater, do me a favor, hater. Sign up on my list. I got a whole list. It's a waiting list. You got to get to the back of the line. All right. So have a good one. And as you guys know, every single Monday we spit fire.